guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. So today I'm going to be doing a full face of TJMAXX and Marshall's makeup. Last time I filmed one of these videos, you guys seemed to really enjoy it, so I figured I'd do another one. I have a whole basket full of goodies to use. So yeah, if you guys want to see me use a bunch of products from either TJMAXX or Marshall's, then just keep on watching. Okay, so I have my little mirror here so I can kind of see what I'm doing, but I'm also going to go ahead and clip my hair back so it's out of the way. Okay, so for primer, I have the Kevyn Aucoin, the Neo Elixir Weightless Beauty Oil. Now, I do have I do have pretty oily skin, but I heard that no matter what skin type you have, you should try this. So, what I've heard from other YouTubers. So, I'm going to go ahead and give it a try. I picked this up at TJMAXX for $14.99. This is what it looks like. As you know, Kevyn Aucoin is a super expensive brand, so to see it at TJMAXX and Marshall's is pretty crazy. I'm just going to go ahead and mix this up. It has a really nice dropper as well. Kind of expected. I very rarely use oils, so I'm curious to see what this does for the skin. Oh my god, it smells so good. I can't even think of what this smells like, but it smells so... Oh, it smells so good. It's like kind of florally, like it's definitely like a perfumey kind of smell, but I really like it. I think it smells really, really good. I'm just gonna make sure I shake it up again because it was starting to separate a little bit. Just gonna get a little bit more. And the dropper is like really, really fancy. It's kind of like curved. A little bit on my nose. So apparently what this does is it primes, hydrates, and highlights with the first ever tri-phase liquid highlighting oil. Skin is kissed with an intoxicating multi-dimensional highlighting effect. The silky, smooth, lightweight formula is perfect to blend with the liquid highlighter or moisturizer. But yeah, it definitely does give like a dewy finish. It's doesn't feel super oily on the skin. It just feels really, really smooth, and so far I really like it. It feels really good. I'd be curious to see how long this would like actually last, especially with having like oily skin, but we'll have to see. So for foundation, I have two of them, and I don't know which one to use. I have the Marc Jacobs Shameless Youthful Look 24-Hour Foundation and the Estee Lauder Double Wear Light Stay in Place Makeup. Now, I want to use the Marc Jacobs foundation, but I feel like it's going to be too light for me right now. So I don't really know. And then I have the Estee Lauder one. I have no idea what this even looks like shade-wise. So let me see. Actually, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the Marc Jacobs one, and it is going to be too light for me, but I'll just go ahead and apply a heavy amount of bronzer, and hopefully it will either oxidize or the powder I'm going to use will kind of darken it a little bit, but I really want to try this foundation. I got the shade Fair Y110, so hopefully it matches. It's probably going to be too light, but we're going to make it work because I want to try it so bad. It's thicker than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like more liquidy. And I'm just going to use my Real Techniques Diamond Sponge. So right away I'm getting like light to medium coverage with the amount I put on my hand. Definitely not full. So you can still see my breakouts. What does this claim to do? Youthful Look 24-Hour Foundation. It doesn't really say much on it on what it's supposed to do. I think it's supposed to be like a lighter coverage foundation because it's supposed to be more of like a youthful kind of glowy look but last all day, I feel like. At least that's what the name's kind of telling me. So it's definitely way too light, but we're gonna make it work. We'll just use bronzer and all that sorts of stuff. Well, if you guys wanted a tutorial on how to get a Casper the Ghost look, this video is for you because we're looking like Casper right now. But so far, after applying this foundation, I definitely think it's light to medium coverage. You can still see my breakouts, but I think that's really the whole point of this foundation. It is definitely a little bit dewy, but that could be the primer. It really could be anything. It definitely doesn't have much coverage at all. Like you can, it's almost like, it kind of reminds me of like a tinted moisturizer or like a CC cream, but with like a little bit more coverage. I'm gonna try to build it up and hopefully I can, because I was gonna go for like a little bit more of a dramatic look today, which I totally just realized that I'm doing my foundation before my eyes, which never happens. I always do my eyes first. Oops. The foundation's definitely buildable, not buildable to a full coverage, more buildable to like a medium coverage, because you can still see like my breakouts and stuff, but it's definitely covered a little bit more the second layer I put on. So for concealer, I have the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Concealer, which actually looks like it's going to be too dark, so we're not going to use that. And then I also have the Laura Geller Filter First Concealer and the Becca Aqua Luminous Perfecting Concealer. That one might be good. Let's see this one. Okay, that's way too dark. I'm so glad I swatched that before I put it on my face. So we're just going to use the Laura Geller one because that one seems to be the lightest that I have at the moment. And it's just like, this was $4.99 at Marshall's and it's in the shade Fair, so. It's a little, it kind of looks like the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer. Alright, so I'm going to do one eye first and then blend it just in case this concealer like dries faster or anything. Don't want to take that chance. Feels very cooling. Like I've never had a concealer feel like cold like this. I don't know if it's supposed to do that. Pretty good coverage, not completely full, but it is like a high medium coverage. This is a luminous concealer, so I feel like it's blending really, really well with the foundation. Let's see what it says. It says this illuminating concealer blends away dark circles, spots, and dullness. The fingertip inspired applicator makes spot correction and blending effortless. Also, you're supposed to use this to blend, but it doesn't say anything about it being cooling, but I'm not complaining. It doesn't like burn or anything, but this is my second layer of the concealer and it's definitely a little bit more coverage, but you can still kind of see some darkness on my inner corner. But honestly, my darkness on my inner corner is so bad that literally like any concealer I use doesn't cover it, so. It looks really, really good up close. It doesn't look cakey or anything. It doesn't look dry or clinging to any spots. The oil, the foundation, everything just looks kind of like skin. It doesn't look like I have like foundation kind of sitting on top. It almost looks like I'm just wearing like a tinted moisturizer with a little bit of concealer sort of thing. So I'm definitely not complaining. So far, so good with everything. All right, next is powder. Now this I'm kind of nervous for because I have the Laura Geller Mineral Powder, and this is in 1W1, and I'm scared it's gonna make my foundation super dark, but it might be okay because that's what your girl needs right now. But so yeah, I picked this up like super cheap at Marshall's, $9.99 for a Laura Geller powder. I was like, yes please. I had to pick it up. Even though it's not the translucent one, I still really wanted it. I'm just gonna grab a big fluffy brush like this one. I'm just gonna go ahead and powder. Okay, so now the powder looks really smooth. It reminds me a lot of the translucent powder, honestly, but just with like a little bit more color. Now it didn't darken my foundation like I kind of wanted it to, but it's fine. But for bronzer, this one's super exciting. I'm going to be using the Too Faced Natural Lust Bronzer. This is the Satin Dual Tone bronzer, and this was a $12.99 from Marshall's, and I almost bought this full price, so I was super stoked to see that they had it at Marshall's. Not to mention it smells like absolute heaven, like heaven. So I'm going to use just this little brush. It has like a little bit of shimmer in it. I don't know how pigmented it is, but let me read some of the stuff on the back. It says, slip into your sexy side with this rich coconut scented bronzer. This satin formula in dual shades can be used separately as a warm flush and a bronzer, or together for a lustrous, lust-worthy glow. Plus the limited edition oversized pan is perfect for all over the body, all over the face and body, and a long past summer. I'm putting on a lot more bronzer than I normally do, but then again, that's because my foundation is so light. Normally I don't apply this much, but we're trying to cover up our white face. But so far so good. It's like the perfect shade that I love for bronzer, and I had no issues of blending it out. It's like, oh, I love it. Not to mention it smells so good. But yeah, no issues with blending it out. At first I kind of put on a lot, which I needed to, but I blended it out no problem, and it looks good. Okay, so for blush, I have this Urban Decay Afterglow 8-Hour Blush. This I got a while ago from TJMAXX. This was a $9.99, and it's just a really pretty, I don't even know, this is in the shade Fetish if I already say that. It's just a really pretty, like, muted pinkish, I don't even know how to describe. I'm awful at describing colors, so. That's so pretty. And it is pretty pigmented, so just watch out, but that is so pretty. Yeah, I love this blush. Okay, so I had to move my mirror a little bit closer because we are gonna go ahead and start with the eyes. I'm just gonna be priming with my MAC Paint Pot because I don't have a new eyeshadow primer at the moment. So I'm just gonna use this to prime my eyes. So now for the eyeshadow palette that I'm super excited about, I have the Too Faced Natural Lust palette. Again, almost bought this full price. I'm so glad I didn't. And this was at Marshall's for $29.99, so still a little bit pricey, but definitely a lot cheaper than I think it's like usually $52. So I was super stoked to find this. So this is what the inside of it looks like. It is so pretty, and I cannot wait to create a look with this. Alright, so first I'm just going to take a big fluffy brush like this, and I'm going to go in with the shade Silk Robe right here, and I'm just going to set my eyeshadow primer. Okay, so like I said, I wanted to do something a little bit more on the dramatic side, so I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Set in Stone, and I'm just taking a unique crease brush. I'm going to dip into that shade, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kind of like just really focus it into my crease, and then we're going to go ahead and blend it out later. Now, if you've been a subscriber of mine for a little bit, you know that I usually start with a transition shade, and then I'll go ahead and deepen up the crease, but I've been liking doing this when I want my crease color to pop a little bit more. I'll do this and blend it out, and it just helps the shades kind of pop. So I'm not super perfect when it comes to this part. I just make sure to put the shade in my crease and not worry about the blending yet, because that will come later. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take this Sonia Kashuk brush. I'm going to take the shade Call Me Back, and I'm going to go ahead and start blending this color out. Now this process, because you started with a darker color and you're trying to diffuse it, it does take a little bit longer than starting with a crease shade, but if you want, you can really, it's hard to explain, you can really do it anyway. Your eyeshadow, you can start with a deep crease and then blend it out, but this process I feel it feels like takes a little bit longer, but I feel like doing this, it almost gives the eye a more dramatic effect. But like I said, usually I start with a transition shade, and I'll eventually get down to this color, but we're doing a little bit differently today. No issues with pigmentation or anything. The shadows are perfectly pigmented and everything is blending just fine. Now I'm going to go in with this big fluffy brush, and I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Love Language right here. I'm going to go ahead and kind of just go over that orange just to create a more diffused look up towards the brow bone. Now it's okay if you literally have your brush in your eyebrow, it's totally fine because we're going to fill them in anyways. Usually when I do this kind of look where I start with that crease color and blend upwards, I always end up in my eyebrows and I fix it up afterwards. Next, I'm just taking a little bit of concealer. I'm going to use the same one that I used on my under eyes, and then I'm just taking this flat brush that I have. It's actually a paint brush, to be honest, but it works really good for cutting out the crease, which is what we're going to be doing. I'm going to pat it on my eye, kind of look up a little bit, and try to figure out how I'm going to cut my crease. And I'm not going to go all the way to the outer corner, but I am going to take my finger and kind of just blend out that line so when we add the darker color it doesn't stick weird to that spot. Now, cutting your crease like this is 100% optional. I just been really like doing it because I feel like it really opens up the lid space, because as you can see, I don't really have any eyelids, so when I do this, I feel like it just really opens up the lid space and gives me more room to add a really nice sparkly color on the lid, or even just a matte color on the lid. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Flirty Pop, which is the shade right here, and I'm just starting that shade on my inner corner, just really packing it down. I take the shade Love Spark, and that's going to be the color I'm going to put on my inner corner just because I want it to be a little bit brighter. Now I'm going to go back with the shade Flirty Pop, and I'm just going to pack that on the rest of the lid space. Now I'm going to take a dense brush, and I'm going to take the same shade that I used in my crease, which was Set in Stone, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply that to my outer corner, and we are going to be deepening it up to a darker color, but I just want to set this down first to give it a nice blend. Now I'm going to go in with the shade Spank Me, which is right here, with that same brush, and I'm just going to really deepen up the outer part of the eye. Okay, so I decided to be super extra, and I'm going to take the Stila Glitter and Glow liquid eyeshadow in the shade Stylish, and I'm going to put that on my, like, the inner half of my eye, not my inner corner, but like the inner half. And this you can actually get at TJMAXX and Marshalls as well. I think they run for like $7.99, I want to say. But I'm just going to put a little bit right there just to add a little pop. But every single one of these that I have in my collection, I haven't paid like full price for whatsoever. I picked them all up at TJMAXX and Marshalls. Just gonna take my finger and kind of blend it a little bit. Now I'm also gonna take the Stila, what is this? Glitter and Glow in the shade Kitten Karma, and I'm gonna put that on top of that like pinkish kind of color. But just a little bit, just to add some sparkle. Nothing crazy. So what I did is I literally just took it, I tapped it on, and then I'm going to go in with that flat shader brush I was using earlier, and I'm also going to just like tap it just so it blends. Alrighty, so now we're going to do the under eyes, and I'm just going to take this brush right here, the same one I used earlier with Set in Stone, and I'm going to go ahead and just focus that directly on my lower lash line, and then we're going to smoke it out after. I go in with my Sonia Kashuk brush with some of the shade Call Me Back right here. I'm just going to blend out that shade. And then I'm going to go back in with that dense brush with the shade Spank Me again. And I'm going to focus that on my outer corner. Alright, so next is mascara, and I have this bad boy right here. This is the L'Oreal Voluminous Superstar Mascara. It has a primer on one side and the mascara on the other. Now I am going to try the primer and the mascara together, but I also have lashes I'm going to put on, so we'll see how good this mascara works on its own, but I'm most likely going to apply falsies as well. I'm just going to go ahead and curl my lashes. Okay, so I really like this mascara. I love that the primer wasn't super white. I noticed like mascara primers are too white. Sometimes it could be hard for the like actual mascara to cover it up, but I had no issues with that. I love the way it made my lashes look. They're not too clumpy, they were easy to separate, and I really like it. So I'm super curious to see how this will last, because usually I have an issue with smudging under my eyes, so I'll be super curious. But I am going to be applying lashes, and today I'm going to be using the Lily Lashes for Sephora collection, and I got these at Marshall's for $7.99, and these are in the style Mykonos, which are super dramatic but perfect for this look because I am going for a dramatic look today. But so yeah, I'm gonna apply these off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm sorry if you can still see the glue drying, but for my brows I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Sculptor. Now I did use this in my last video and I liked it so much that I got a backup, so I can tell you how much this was. I got this at TJMAXX for $2.99, so that was the only brow pencil that I had available. I'm not going to open that one, I'm just going to use the one that I used in my last video just to fill in my brows really quick, and this is in the shade Blonde. Okay, so for highlighter, I have two different ones. I have the Urban Decay Afterglow highlighter in the shade Sin, and then I also have the Stila Heaven's Hue highlighter in Brilliance. So now I don't know which one I want to use. I'm going to go in with the Urban Decay highlighter because the Stila one was a bit too dark. Oh my god, that's so pretty. When I swatched this on my hand to see which one to use, I was worried that this one wasn't going to be like highlighter enough, but it's working just fine. It's really pretty. Now I'm going to take a small brush with the same highlighter. I'm just going to highlight my inner corner and my brow bone. I want to brighten up the inner corner a little bit more, so I'm going to go back to that Too Faced palette and take the shade All Tied Up and put that on my inner corner just because it's a little bit brighter. Alright, so for the lips, I'm going to be using the NARS Velvet Lip Glide in the shade Area, and I got this on clearance for $6 and it wasn't even swatched or anything. Now it is really brown, so I don't know if I'm going to like it with this look, but I want to give it a try. I don't know why this lip color looks reddish on camera. It's actually like a really chocolatey brown, but it's showing up kind of red. But I wanted to do this color and not so, like a nude, because I'm always doing nudes. So if this looks a little crazy, I'm sorry, but I needed to do a bold lip because I haven't done one yet and I'm getting kind of sick of nudes right now. Alrighty guys, so that completes today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comments down below and give this video a big thumbs up. I think the only product that I had a downfall was probably the foundation, only because it was too light, but everything worked perfectly. I had no issues whatsoever, so I'm super thankful for that. But if you're new to my channel, be sure to click the subscribe button down below and turn on the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video. And so yeah, see you guys in the next one. Bye!